are you the principal in my house? Why are you the dean at my college? What the fuck?
All these children disappeared.
Why are you following me through my life?
Actually, Cracked already did that. Yeah, I know Cracked already did that, but Cracked and I are on a weird thing.
So for your cast though, as far as your sequel or your
Well,
follow-up,
are there gonna be names that I'm gonna be like, no?
No, you're not, because Ben Savage and Danielle Fishel, the Topanga and Corey, they haven't agreed to it yet. And then as a special sad point, they've pointed out Lily Nixie, who played Corey's little sister, is definitely on board for joining her former family, but she hasn't been approached by Disney.
I thought you were gonna say dead.
Ouch! Ouch!
Wait. She played the younger sister.
She was
Yeah, she was the one that was in the first season, disappeared for the other 9 seasons.
We don't talk about it.
And then came down from upstairs during the last season.
It's like Billy said.
We don't talk about it.
That actually happened.
Wait, was that like Richie Cunningham's older brother who actually did appear in the first season of Happy Days? And then
Yes, this actually happened.
I think you're thinking Happy Days.
No, I swear to God, she came down the stairs and said I was upstairs the whole time.
Yeah, she did. Because they were, it was a throwaway.
I was gonna say, I don't care enough about this show to give a shit.
Just in front of you. They just brought it out and shot it in front of the audience. It was terrible.
Right in their eye, up the nose a little.
Besides, wasn't Boy Meets World just a way to
slowly transition kids into teenagers?
No, it was pretty much just, trying to head off at the pass any sibling rivalry the Savage brothers would have had. Oh! Damn it! My brother's already famous. I want to be famous.
We're receding hairline at 12. Let's do this.
Actually, you bring up a good point.
Minkus appeared on during graduation episode where he was on the other side of the school the entire time.
Was he half robot?
Oh God, that sounds familiar.
Was he the steam-powered boy at that point?
Oh Jesus, wept.
No, you brought up a good point with Fred.
Where suddenly he's
Savage.
awesome and she regrets being stuck with Corey than Abby had.
No, but Raquel was a different entire.
Minkus was being attempted to be retooled into some sort of cyborg to be a boyfriend for Punky Brewster.
Topanga. Punky Brewster was way hotter.
I need a boyfriend.
I don't know how I feel about this cell phone pocket your pants have.
What? Oh, my cell phone pocket? Yeah, I've got my cell phone in there, actually.
I would assume so.
Is it on silent?
Well,
yes.
Well,
it hasn't gone off yet, has it? Come on, man.
Besides, everybody who would text him's in this room.
That's so true.
Wow.
Or listening.
There's no one listening. No one fucking.
We lost Ashley.
Our fans who were sending us stuff have already gone to bed.
It's so true. Ashley's too far into Halo at this point to care.
Good. She should turn us off a lot.
She's in a better place.
Totally spoil that ending
like
for
3
us.
points behind her to save.
Now, there was one film in production. Justin, you brought up, and I was like, no, Lords of Salem. You had something to say about Lords of Salem, the Rob Zombie film. You're like, oh, Lords of Salem, that looks tight.
Well, yeah, I just saw the poster. I haven't seen the trailer or anything like that.
Okay.
But Rob Zombie always does really cool throwback to 70s horror films. They're always incredibly gory.
Yeah. He's made one really, really great film. And he made one really good film, and they made 2 shitball films.
Okay.
Now,
what's the really, really great film?
Really, Devil's Rejects personifies everything that he's ever tried to do in his career as far as film goes. Okay. In my opinion, because it's everything it should be. It's got a little grip realism, it's got a little bit of wackiness, but it's not too out there. See, the problem with House of a Thousand Corpses, aside from the title, is the fact that they get into the basement and shit gets just Tim Burton unruly and stupid. There's fucking every room has a fucking
Tim Burton on a bad acid trip.
His last 3 films. with actors. His animated stuff's still solid. Because he forwards that to better talents. Look, I'm just saying, it's a little too much. It's too much of everything that's oh man, that's cool. It's like having ICP make films, and they do. It's that kind of self-indulgent crap where it's oh, this is based off that song I made. Yeah, but
who cares?
Boo. Dr. Satan's revealed, and he's an old man, but he's like a vampire fucking mechanobot thing, and everything that was the story becomes real, but it becomes real in a very Rob Zombie, Marilyn Manson, 1999, because this film was shot, 1,000 years ago. It took 3 years for it or so to get out, because it was and that helped build street cred.
Well, I mean,
dude, they wouldn't release it for 3 years.
No, it's because, honestly, the studios were just like, this
They
is...
knew better.
I mean, they were just absolutely...
The violence is
They had
alright.
to shop that bitch around.
Yeah,
I
they
was gonna
really
say,
did.
They had to
However-
get somebody just coked up
I
enough.
was gonna say, the strong points of the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Watch the first 30 minutes and don't give a shit about the rest. Sid Haig debut as Captain
Spaulding.
Captain fucking Spaulding, and his chicken shack and the horror ride and all that shit. That's fucking solid. That carries over into Devil's Rejects. Devil's Rejects gets it right because it negates Dr. Satan and all that dumb shit that was like supernatural and weird and House of 1,000 Corpses and like unnecessary and bizarre. Completely just no, that was just some old dude in a basement and they get blown up in the first 5 minutes. Because the Texas law gets him. And Tiny isn't nearly as supernatural as he was, and it's his last role, and it's a hell of a
I was going to say,
he rocks that one.
Let us, by the way, have a moment for poor Tiny. I forget that guy's name.
Brendan, he was also, he was my giant, but he was the...
he was Carl in
Big Fish,
I love that guy.
Super great role.
One of the things that I kind of always disturbed the shit out of me about House of 1,000 Corpses was the unnecessarily long, like, aiming scene where he's just panning back before he blows that guy's head off.
He's really good with guns. He builds tension very well for the mundane, and that's why
because you're going, it's got to be now. No.
And that's
30 seconds later, it's got to be now.
That's why Devil's Rejects works. He's good at building tension on the mundane.
Yeah, it's a knife and a handgun, and that's enough, because it is.
Yeah.
I mean, the Punisher proved the shit out of that.
No, that was a scary... I mean, that's the scariest part of the worst part of Devil's Rejects for me is the part where they're in the fucking hotel with
It's the cruelty of a random person.
And it's just, a couple of assholes with a gun and a knife, and that's enough to terrify you and keep you hostage
and
get you killed.
Yeah, their power is their being just a sociopath. They're just awful.
Yeah.
It's not that they have anything.
And Rob Zombie, you have a beautiful wife.
He has a great ear for soundtracks, obviously. I mean, again, the Devil's Rejects soundtrack is mwah. It's perfect. It's so
very good. It's a very good soundtrack. It
turned me on to a lot of fun, old 70s. It's got everything. It's got a fucking black dude from Ken Faree as a pimp. You got the deformed dude from Hills Have Eyes, whose name I can't remember.
Yeah.
Talking about horny
we're talking
robots
about the original Hills Have Eyes?
Yes.
Okay,
Saturn.
so it's a bug-eyed dude, also from Weird
I forget his
Science?
name.
Big lumpy here.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Saturn.
Yeah.
And, oh, boss, he's the guy talking about chicken fucking and shit. And they run a
him.
whorehouse with E.G. Daily, who is so sexy for being Tommy Pickles. Damn her eyes. And then his other film, Halloween's alright. I like Halloween. I didn't see 2 because it looked... Halloween's a little self-indulgent, but it's got its moments. But a lot of people take issue with the fact that he's trying to explain something that should be best kept unexplained.
See, I never really felt that about
Mike Myers?
Mike Myers, because for one thing...
He's always doing Scottish! No.
He's got a name. I mean, his name's Mike. I mean, that's the whole thing. He's a guy with a name, so obviously he's a person. It's like Jason Voorhees. He has a backstory, but who gives a fuck? He's an undead killing machine who makes no sense. That's the scary part about Jason Voorhees. There's no physics to that guy. He's the slowest walking fucker in the world, and yet somehow he appears right in front of these kids who've been running their asses off in the woods for...
Thank you, Robot Chicken, for explaining how he does it, though.
Yeah.
So you feel it's better that Michael Myers is the explained evil? That
yes, he should be, because he has a name and he's not some sort of weird undead thing. He's got a psychiatrist, for fuck's sakes. I mean, he's not a shrink.
Yeah,
so there's obviously a backstory to that. So it's cool that they're...
Also,
but that son of a bitch, I don't know if he's just brilliant, like the fact that maybe he, stole some body armor or something like that, or...
My issue with...
One, he doesn't fucking bleed.
Sure, but you know what? That it's a horror movie, and there's some suspension of disbelief, and great, that's fine, but I'm not mad at having a backstory. Although I am sad that there was never an explanation for the end of that one Halloween movie where he gets broken out of jail by... I don't know, the fucking Undertaker, apparently.
We don't do...
And then it never comes back. We never touch that again. It's like, obviously there was supposed to be a sequel to that, and then it never happened.
We don't like talking about 4, 5, 6, or H2O. No, H2O's alright. We don't like talking about Resurrection either.
But I just...
Busta Rhymes versus Michael Myers was not one I want to remember. That shit happened.
Only if it was a rap battle. Because that would be interesting.
It was, because you're like, everybody didn't pay, you couldn't find it. Wait, what? And then he... There you go. It's done.
Ah, I see.
And for those of you that actually don't know about, who actually have never actually watched the behind the scenes on Halloween, the Michael Myers mask was actually the prop department. The guy went out and John Carpenter told the guy.
They had 3 choices. I learned that.
The
earlier.
John Carpenter went out told the prop guy to go out and find the scariest mask that he possibly could for this guy. What the prop guy actually chose was a latex mask of William Shatner as Captain Kirk. He turned it inside out, spray painted it white, and then put hair on it.
Sanded.
The face of terror for Halloween is Captain fucking Kirk.
I was gonna say they sanded it down and it had they fluffed the hair. They cut his sideburns off.
Yeah.
Because Captain Kirk had those bitchin' sideburns.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, that's gonna be weird. But it was also that or the friendly hobo, which was similar to the clown mask that he wore as a
Did
kid.
they have the rubber horse masks? Because I'm seeing that.
No.
Pretty funny.
No, it was they wanted because he was called Shape, and they wanted something just bland.
Yeah.
And Captain Kirk turned out to be the whitest man on the planet. It worked. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, after they painted it,
I think the other option was Spock, actually.
Yes, Leonard
They were like
Nimoy.
that
They wanted
because they
Leonard
were
Nimoy, but he
hideous
was
masks.
honestly, Captain Kirk looked kind of like Everyman once they actually painted it white.
You don't have to have
Leonard
the ears.
Nimoy was still very
Vulcan.
Angular.
angular. He was way too angular to be like the face of. He was recognizable as Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah.
Is the only
Like he
problem.
is.
And
And
he's,
clown
yeah,
mask-
he painted white, standing down, and the people in the audience are going, "Is that a Leonard Nimoy mask? I'm not scared."
Yeah, it's a hard moment when you realize it's because now when you watch it, and you know that. At least in the good ones, it's hard to figure out. But in 4, 5, 6, it's pretty.
But the first one,
yeah, it's fucked.
Also,
It's crazy.
I like the fact that they actually cut a slit in the back and left it open a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the eye holes
dangles.
actually.
Yeah.
The eye holes are just complete darkness. You cannot see Michael Myers' eyes, which is fucking terrifying.
Also, Dean Cundy doing his thing. Dean Cundy lays his thing down hard on that one. And, you get the awesome soundtrack by John Carpenter himself, the writer and director and stuff. And who knew?
And Michael Myers' walk.
Yeah.
What a promising
walk that
talent.
he's got is-
John Carpenter and his music. Who knew that was the only 3 notes he knew?
Well, no, I mean, he
I
just
did
came up
because
with it
he
one
did
night.
the closing credits title track theme song to Big Trouble in Little China.
Did it go something like do?
It was like Big Trouble, ba 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 ba, in Little Chinatown, ba 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 ba.
No,
Go on, Dave. Go on, motherfucker. You're the only other dude that's way into that
That
film. I am
movie
not.
is fantastic.
People say
And
that.
there is a music video for that song.
Is there?
I've
Patrick
never
Swayze?
seen
I'd
that.
actually
I
never
will
seen
Patrick
that
find
movie.
Swayze.
it.
Awesome.
Is
I will
Kurt
find
Russell?
it.
I have never seen that
I don't know
movie.
if Kurt Russell is,
No,
but
no, no,
John
we can watch
Carpenter
videos
is
on this.
going to town on the keyboard.
But no, I actually agree with Dave. I love Big Trouble in Little China. It's got some of the best one-liners out there. I mean,
Oh God, yes.
you can pick
Infinitely
it up at
quotable.
Walmart for $5 in the $5 bin. It's always $5, people. Go grab it. It's hilarious.
Yeah, and that movie's infinitely quotable. The only thing, I think the only way it would have been better, because I love Kurt Russell and all, but the only thing that would have been better was if it would have been, I think that role, Jack Burton, really was tailor-made for Bruce Campbell.
No shit. That's a damn good point.
He would have been the most amazing Jack Burton.
I would have loved to have seen a Jack Burton Ash team up. Can you imagine the shit they would have gotten
They just
into?
keep trying to say work shed better than the last guy. Say work shed. You say work shed. No, I disagree all day.
I think it'd have been too much of the same thing. It'd have been like, wait, which one?
I think that John Carpenter's failure is that he thinks he's writing awesome dialogue that's going to kick me in the nuts, and it fails me. It's like George Romero. This is going to be deep. It's kind of bullshit. Sounds like
It's gonna be funny.
something a biker made up. I'm like, that's not so great. That and Prince of Darkness, just watched for Halloween. Not into it. Not worth a fuck.
Prince of
Didn't
Darkness.
see it.
Don't worry about it. You're all right.
Okay.
It's on Netflix. If you
What?
really...
Wait.
It's the John Carpenter horror film. Donald Pleasance rocks it, but it's
Oh.
Donald Pleasance. He usually did.
always
It's horrible.
Yeah.
That's what he does, man.
He's
The
fucking-
dude-
he's
the
fucking
mustache
broke,
on the
though.
guy though is fantastic, but it has the Asian dude from Big Trouble, and I was like, oh, he's in other stuff from John Carpenter, and the soundtrack's a lot like Big Trouble because it's a bass line, like The Thing. Who knew? It's like They Live. Do.
Are you laughing at me?
I prefer here, yeah. John Carpenter in a nutshell.
Wait. Does it go like this? Boom, 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 boom,
Oh, boo.
Yeah. So really, the theme from Night Court was just a John Carpenter riff,
Yeah, they owe him money. Does
or he owes them money.
Lyman Weege or whatever his fucking name is.
Reinhold
Weege. I'll sum up John Carpenter in 3 films. My top 3 film, John Carpenter, and we'll take a break, and then you guys can mull on that for a sec. I'll say Halloween you got to go with because it's a classic beside him. and it starts him and ends him. That's the only John Carpenter film you watch, it's cool. You gotta go with Escape from New York.
Yeah.
And I always gotta cap it off with They Live, because that shit's for real now as it was forever. Roddy Piper, Keith David,